So, all right. So successful dieters, right? So what do they do? You know, on the right side, right, I'm just going to drive this home. It's all about behavior and lifestyle change, right? People that are able to sustain their diets and sustain weight loss for a long period of time, you know, greater than 5 years, which we're going to get into, it's all about behavior and lifestyle change, right? So this thing is called the National Weight Control Registry. It was established in 1994. There's been over 10,000 people that have been registered through this that have had greater than 5 years or more of maintenance in their weight loss. The average weight loss is 66 pounds, ranging from 30 to 300 pounds. And basically, it's 80% of these people are women, and they're typically around, 40 to 45 to 50 years old. You know, and basically, again, if it's 80% women, 20% male, right? And ultimately, this is pretty cool because this study, you know, is a long-term study that has showed what did these people do to, you know, keep their weight off. So 98% of them had modified their diet in some way, which comes back to, do you want to look at using exercise or diet to, you know, for weight loss? And I was having a big conversation with somebody on this yesterday, and basically, if you try to, you know, over exercise to lose weight, it's just not going to be sustainable. You're not going to be able to keep it up. And then the problem is also what happens when, you know, you get injured or you have a situation where you can't exercise anymore, the weight's going to, you know, come right back on. So if you modify your diet, it's something that, you know, you can really, you know, get control over and have a sustainable long-term, you know, change and benefit and continue to have the weight loss maintained, right? 78% of these people eat some type of breakfast. 75% of them weigh in one time per week. 62% of them watch less than 10 hours of TV per week, which is less than 2 hours of TV per day. I know that I definitely watch more than 2 hours, especially I didn't always. It's funny because I almost was at zero for, you know, quite a long time. But I'm definitely, you know, up above 10 hours a week, especially since Xander's been born. You know, it's funny, you find yourself at 9 o'clock at night when you put the little one down to bed, and you're like, well, what am I going to do? You're either going to do work, you know, maybe work out, or you're going to watch TV. So you end up spending a lot more time watching television because of that. And I think that, you know, part of the issue, you know, in the United States, everybody has a television, and, you know, a lot of families, are going to kind of dictate and, lead the way in the behavior patterns. You know, you think about the United States, it's a very, you know, family-oriented country, I think, when it comes down to it, right? 90% of these people exercise at least 1 hour today, 1 hour per day, which the main form is actually walking, which I thought was pretty interesting. And I think more than anything, the walking is something that's easy to do. It comes back to this 10-minute challenge that I proposed, you know, about a month or so ago that I always look at. And it's the same thing that I tell people. You can at least get 10 minutes a day, but the principle is getting this consistency and this repetition and this frequency going where, okay, I can at least walk 1 hour a day. It might not be something vigorous and intense, but at least I can do this, because again, this is coming back to this idea of sustainability, right? So, and then 55% of these people use some type of program, or they get coaching or mentoring or some type of help to maintain their weight loss, and they're still using that help at this point. And then 100% of these people increase their smiles to breaths ratio, this is something that I've always liked to joke about saying, but at the end of the day, from a functional standpoint, right, and self-efficacy and this idea of functional transfer and all of this stuff, right, we want people to be happier, right? It's not, you know, if we're doing all of this stuff and we're not happier and we're not getting better, we probably should look for something else to do, right? Again, if you're a piano player and you really want to play the violin, you know, at least incorporate the violin in. Maybe the piano thing is the way that you make money, but do something else that's going to make you happy, right? Do something that's going to improve your mood, which 100% of these people that have been able to maintain this weight loss report that they've had an improvement in their mood, their energy, their libido, all of that stuff that we look as an improvement in our lifestyle, right? So, these 3 bullet points over here, you know, on the right under the behavioral and lifestyle change, right? one of the biggest things that we can do to improve our success with our diet and nutrition is to plan ahead for meals. Almost every time that I'm talking to somebody that's struggling with weight loss and nutrition, they have no rhyme or reason for what they're doing, even if they're on a diet typically, right? They wait until the last minute, right before they're sitting down at the restaurant or sitting down at the table or getting ready to cook their dinner to figure out what they're doing. And typically they're hungry at that point, which is also another issue that comes along with this. If you wait till you're hungry to figure out what you're going to eat, you're typically going to have more of an issue with eating high calorie, low nutrient dense type of foods that are going to be more likely to, to increase weight gain and fat gain. So you want to take the time to plan ahead. A lot of people that are really successful with diets plan ahead their whole, meal prep on Sunday, and they have all 21 meals for the whole week planned out, including their cheat meals. I saw this specifically with a lot of the bodybuilders and, WWE athletes, particularly that I worked with, because their body composition and their body fat mattered so much, right? So we also have this idea of dietary restraint and dietary disinhibition. Have you guys check these terms out a little bit more. And this is this idea of this kind of compulsive eater. This dietary disinhibition means it's kind of like this person that just can't stop themselves from eating. So they have to have much more restraint, right? And they have to have these controls in place. And the people that have more dietary restraint that also have this dietary disinhibition, there's a study on this, that basically, and it makes sense. If you have more restraint and you're somebody that has the likelihood to be more impulsive, you're going to have better results, right? So it's practicing this idea of restraint and this consistency. Again, even with the walking and the exercise and that 10-minute challenge, it helps to reinforce everything that you're doing with these behavior and lifestyle change programs, right? And then, which we're going to get into heavily here, is setting personal goals, setting SMART goals, and we'll get into more of the understanding of what SMART goals are. But it's primarily looking at, in terms of your goals, right? Why are you doing this? And keeping that why really important to yourself, and thinking, okay, if I really want to have success, and I'm going to reward myself in some way with these goals, is it something that, if I'm going to, for example, if we achieve our goals, and we set the reward to being a trip to Hawaii or Youngstown, which one's going to get you there? Which one's going to get you excited? Which one's going to keep you motivated? For you guys that are, the California people, Youngstown's a small kind of old Rust Belt town, a few, maybe 20, 30 miles east of west of Pittsburgh, and on the border of Ohio. And it's not necessarily known for anything too exciting, really. And it's really, actually, at one point, it had the highest murder rate per capita in the United States. Yeah. So, if we're going to reward ourselves or reward somebody else, we want to make it something that's strong, that keeps us motivated and that keeps us moving forward. And sometimes that also has to change. So there's the statistics.